And 13 News Now at 5 begins with breaking news. Controversy for Virginia Governor Ralph Northam. 13 News Now just got these pictures.
This is from Governor Northam's yearbook page during his time at Eastern Virginia Medical School. As you can see, it shows two people, one in blackface, the other in a KKK robe. We are not able to confirm exactly who the people are in the picture.
And right now we have calls in to the governor's office, and we will update you as soon as they respond to our request for comment.
Governor Northam is a 1984 graduate of EVMS. Before becoming governor, he was a pediatric neurologist at CHKD.
Turning now to the weather, take a look at that radar. Snow, rain, and a mix all showing up right now.
Check this out. One of our photojournalists on the Eastern Shore saw the wild horses in Assateague enjoying the snow.
But when will all of this move out? Chief Meteorologist Jeff Lawson is in now with the forecast.
Yeah, very shortly. And we had talked for several days now about some isolated, first we said flurries and sprinkles, and then we said a few isolated snow showers or maybe a rain shower, especially off to the north. Pretty much worked out, I would say, and Evan and I were talking about it. He mentioned it on air. This is a little bit more than we thought and a little bit farther to the south. Same general idea is there. It's that Arctic front wavering around. You can see it's not going to last terribly long. The back end is already now east of Richmond. And this is the radar estimating where it's raining, where it's snowing, where there's a little bit of a mix. And for example, Matthews and Gloucester, it is saying that it is rain. But we have gotten some pictures in from people showing that indeed it is snow. And every so often we've had a couple of the brighter little areas come through. So that brighter stuff is the reflection coming back off the bigger snowflakes, and that tells me that the radar was wrong. And now we've been confirmed again with some of those pictures that are starting to come in. This is a huge range across the area, and I think the next couple of days we're going to have this front wavering around for another couple of days. So that means that it's going to again be a big range. To the north, 28 right now, down to the south, 53. That's 25 degrees just in our viewing area. And that front, again, just sort of wavers around over the next 48 to maybe even 60 hours or so. So it is cold out there to the north. And that means that if you're in the middle, like around here, this is for Hampton Roads, we're generally going to see a chance of showers this evening. Temperatures won't get quite enough cold enough for snow, but to the north looks like still, again, for the next couple of hours anyway, a little bit of that snow or some mixed precipitation starting to move out. Not showing up yet in Newport News here on this sky view, though. We'll talk about a big warm-up coming up.
Now to a crime alert in Virginia Beach.
Two teens are arrested and accused of robbing a driver from a Chinese restaurant in Kemps River. 13
News Now reporter Allie Weatherton spoke to that driver. She's live in Kempsville tonight.
Janet, it's a scary story. The delivery driver says when he showed up to the apartment knocking on the door, that's when he saw two men with masks on and guns. He says he immediately put his hands up and says, take whatever you want. And he says he's lucky to be alive tonight. It was supposed to be a quick trip to Brookfield Apartment Homes in Kempsville. The husband and father of two was dropping off food from Hanzing Chinese. He's the owner and delivery driver. But he says when he got to the apartment door, he found two guys wearing masks and holding guns. Newly released court documents say it happened on Silversmith Court. Two teenagers now face gun, robbery, conspiracy, and abduction charges. The two teens allegedly forced the victim inside, where they took the $65 delivery order, his iPhone, wallet, and about $50. Minutes later, the two teens let him leave. He says when he jumped in his car, he saw the suspects run off. He called 911 as soon as he got back to the restaurant. Now, the delivery driver didn't want to go on camera. He says he's still upset. Now, I talked with other delivery drivers, and they say they also feel the same way. They're nervous to go out at night. They say if they do feel nervous, though, they do not deliver the order. Live in Virginia Beach, Allie Weatherton, 13 News Now.
The man accused in an officer-involved shooting in Virginia Beach still is behind bars tonight. A judge denying bond for Zyshawn Parker today. Police say an officer shot Parker Sunday night on Redkirk Lane. We're told this all started after neighbors called 911 about shots fired. In court today, prosecutors say when officers found Parker, they told him to drop to the ground and put down his gun, but he didn't. Police say he pointed the gun at them. Defense attorneys argued he should get out of jail, saying he has no criminal record and isn't a flight risk.
A crime alert tonight about a bizarre home invasion in Elizabeth City. Police say Terrell Johnson broke into the back door of a person's home this morning, and that's when they say the homeowner confronted Johnson and shot him twice. It happened at a house on Bell Street. Before officers got to the scene, they say Johnson left on his own and went to Centera Albemarle Medical Center. If you know anything about this, call the police.
Now a story you'll see only on 13 News Now. New stop signs popping up along intersections off of Shoup Avenue in Norfolk. But why? 13 News Now reporter Stephen Graves joins us live in the studio. And Stephen, what inspired the community to fight for this change?
Well, David, unfortunately, you don't really see change normally until something tragic happened. And this was the case for neighbors after a teenager was hit and killed near Shoup Park. And most people say they are finally starting to see some type of change. Today, a memorial sits near Shoup Park in Norfolk, where Jalen Leary's memory carries on. The way he died months ago hits close to home for so many neighbors.
She said, I knew this was going to happen, the way they come flying down there.
Mike DeMario was there and remembers hearing screaming. This after a vehicle hit the 14-year-old who tried to cross Shoup Avenue on a scooter.
I have no doubt that car was speeding. Maybe it wasn't, maybe it was.
What neighbors didn't doubt is that something needed to change here. Now, on each corner, you'll see a set of new stop signs.
But they've just been driving it for years, and oops, all of a sudden a new sign that they didn't see.
At the time of Jalen's death, his family said they wanted something different here too. The pain then of losing a child so unbearable after police say Jalen's sister was murdered months before. Norfolk City officials say the neighborhood civic league demanded change. City Council took up the issue and passed the measure last December. In all, 8 new stop signs line the park. Finally, people around here say they notice some type of difference, but they know change takes time.
So yeah, it's slowing people down, but not everybody knows the signs are there yet. It's definitely a good thing. It should have been maybe done before.
And Norfolk City officials also plan to paint stop lines where those stop signs are to slow people down even more. Meanwhile, the investigation into Jalen's death continues. As of yet, there are no charges filed against the driver. Stephen Graves, 13 News Now.
New information tonight out of Richmond County. A man accused of killing 5 people in Louisiana and going on the run in Virginia will not fight extradition back. He appeared before a judge this morning. 21-year-old Dakota Terrio will head back to Louisiana to face murder charges. Authorities say he killed his parents, his girlfriend, and 2 of her family members before fleeing. They caught up with him at his grandmother's house in Richmond County over the weekend.
We now know the name of the man who died in a motorcycle crash earlier this week. Virginia Beach police identified him as 19-year-old Isaiah Johnson. Police tell us he crossed the median on Oceana Boulevard on his motorcycle Wednesday. The bike hit a Jeep, and that threw Johnson off the bike. Another car then hit that Jeep. No one else was hurt. Police say speed looks like it was a factor.
New at 5, it was kind of like saying goodbye to an old friend. The Navy parted ways today with a more than 3-decade-old F18C fighter jet. 13 News Now military reporter Mike Gooding was at Oceana for the final flight.
The Legacy Hornet saw its first combat action way back in 1986 during the U.S. bombing campaign against Libya. Since then, it's been in Operation Desert Storm, Operation Iraqi Freedom, and now, finally today, for the Navy, it is the end of the line for the F-18C.
It's bittersweet. This aircraft's been around longer than most my sailor's age. I've been born, so it's it's bittersweet.
It fell to Naval Air Station Oceana Squadron VFA-34, the Blue Blasters, to make history. For one final time, they would take the venerable fighter jet up into the skies to give it the proper send-off it deserves.
Proud to be part of this last chapter in the Navy, the F-18 Charlie, but we're also very much looking forward to the next chapter, moving on to the F-18 Echo.
They were the last of their breed, the final operational squadron in the Navy to fly the seas, with the rest of the Navy having already switched to the more advanced E and F Super Hornets.
Jets have got a lot of traps on them, a lot of hours, and it's a lot of maintenance. It's a really great airplane to fly. I'm going to miss it a lot.
I would say it's more of like a mixed emotion. This is my first command, and these are the only jets that I've known, so it's kind of bittersweet to see them leave, but it's also ushering in a new age for us, so it's exciting at the same time.
The C model Hornets will continue to be flown by the Navy Reserve stateside adversarial squadrons and by the Marine Corps until it transitions to the F-35 Lightning II Joint Strike Fighter. Mike Gooding, 13 News Now.